Ever wondered what secrets are locked within the ancient stones of one of the world's most famous fortresses? Today, we're unlocking the gates to the Tower of London, a place with over 900 years of history and a reputation as one of the most haunted spots in all of Britain. Built way back in 1078 by order of William the Conqueror, this place wasn't just a royal palace. It was a prison, an armoury, and a place of immense human suffering. Torture, imprisonment, and execution were commonplace within these cold, unforgiving walls. And it didn't matter if you were a commoner or royalty. The Tower of London didn't discriminate when it came to despair. This long and dark history has left a permanent stain, an echo of the past that many believe still wanders its corridors. Let's start with a truly bizarre tale from the 19th century. Imagine being the keeper of the crown jewels, a man named E.L. Swifter. You're having a nice quiet dinner with your family in the Martin Tower. Suddenly your wife gasps. You both see it, a strange cylindrical object, almost like a glass tube floating in the air. Inside, a mysterious blue fluid bubbles and churns. His wife screamed, claiming it was lunging towards her, trying to grab her. In a panic, Swifty grabbed a chair and hurled it at the object, but the chair passed right through it, crashing against the far wall. Just as quickly as it appeared, the ghostly tube vanished into thin air. What was it? A spectral science experiment? A message from another dimension? To this day, no one knows. Of course, the tower is most famous for its royal ghosts. Chief among them is the tragic figure of Anne Boleyn. After failing to produce a male heir for King Henry VIII, she was accused of treason and executed right here on these grounds in 1536. Her spirit, it is said, is not at rest. Visitors and guards have reported seeing her headless apparition, sometimes leading a ghostly procession, wandering the corridors of the White Tower, or silently gliding through the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, where her body is buried beneath the altar. Imagine turning a corner and coming face to face with the headless spectre of a long-dead queen. It's a chilling thought, but Anne wasn't the only wife of Henry VIII to meet a grisly end here. The young Catherine Howard, executed at just 19, is also said to haunt the tower. She was imprisoned in a room before her execution, and it's said that she once broke free and ran down the gallery, screaming for the king to spare her life, only to be dragged back by the guards. Even now, people claim to hear her desperate, piercing screams echoing from behind the door of the room where she was held. It's a sound that would freeze the blood in your veins. The royal hauntings don't stop there. One of the most heartbreaking stories is that of the princes in the tower. In 1483, the 12-year-old King Edward V and his 9-year-old brother, Richard, Duke of York, were imprisoned in the Bloody Tower by their uncle, the future King Richard III. The boys vanished without a trace, presumed murdered. For centuries, their ghosts have been seen. Two small figures in white nightgowns, clutching each other in fear, their spectral images appearing in the very tower where they spent their last days. In the 1670s, the skeletons of two children were discovered buried beneath a staircase in the White Tower, adding a grim reality to this ghostly legend. It's not just royals who refuse to leave. The ghost of Sir Walter Raleigh, the famous explorer, has been seen in the Bloody Tower where he was imprisoned for 13 years. And then, there's Lady Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen. Crowned at 16 and executed shortly after, her sorrowful white figure is often spotted on the battlements, a lonely silhouette against the London sky. Even the architecture has its own ghost stories. The Traitor's Gate, the infamous Watergate where prisoners arrived, is said to be haunted by Thomas Becket. A priest in the 13th century witnessed Becket's ghost, crucifix in hand, striking the newly built gate, causing it to collapse. It had to be rebuilt, but the legend of Becket's spiritual intervention lives on. With so many stories, it's no surprise that paranormal investigators have been drawn to this place. The BBC once brought in a team with all sorts of high-tech gear, infrared cameras, temperature gauges, and sensitive audio recorders. They set out to debunk the myths. While they did find logical explanations for many of the strange occurrences, about 10% of their experiences left them completely baffled. They couldn't explain the sudden cold spots, the disembodied whispers, or the strange orb-like lights their cameras captured. The investigators, who started as skeptics, left with a newfound respect for the tower's haunted reputation, admitting they had captured some wonderful, unexplainable images. It seems the Tower of London is a hotspot for entire ghostly battalions. Reports from sentries over the centuries describe seeing full squads of spectral soldiers marching the grounds, appearing from nowhere and vanishing just as suddenly. One guard in the 19th century reportedly challenged a ghostly figure, charged it with his bayonet, and fainted in terror when his weapon passed right through it. He was court-martialed for fainting on duty, but the testimony of other guards who saw the same apparition saved him. But there's one last crucial detail that makes the Tower of London unique. It's not a ghost, but a living legend. I'm talking about the ravens. By royal decree, at least 6 ravens must be kept at the tower at all times. The legend states that if the ravens ever leave, the crown will fall and Britain with it. They are cared for by a raven master, and their presence is a constant living link to the tower's ancient past and mystical lore. Are they simply birds, or are they the guardians of the kingdom, holding back the forces that linger within these walls? From headless queens and phantom princes to screaming ladies and marching soldiers, the Tower of London is more than just a historical monument. It's a place where the veil between the past and present feels incredibly thin. The sheer volume of suffering and drama that unfolded here has left an undeniable energy, a ghostly residue that continues to fascinate and terrify visitors to this day. So, what do you think? Are these just stories, or does the Tower of London truly hold the spirits of its tragic past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me on this ghostly tour. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history and mystery, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories from the world's most haunted places. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time, stay curious.